Okay, so we're back on the SportsMax Zone for the last half an hour of this Thursday show, and we're going to talk some cricket now. The West Indies are gearing up for a 5-match T20 series against South Africa. They start on Saturday at St. George's in the Spice Isle, Grenada. The good news for fans is that those who are fully vaccinated will be allowed inside the stadium to watch all 5 games. The Windies have won 3 of their last 10 T20 series, including the most recent where they beat Sri Lanka by 2-1. So an opportunity here, George, for the Windies to rebound from their disappointing test series against the South Africans. Different players here, the white ball roster looking completely different these days from the red ball. And hopefully the West Indies can restore some semblance of pride in this outing. Yeah, and that's the only reason why I'm taking issue with your descriptor of rebound, because this is a different team, different format. It's not as if
the name West Indies, George.
Well, there you go. All right, so I'll accept it under those conditions. But yeah, different kettle of fish. This one is different cast, different format. And I expect the West Indies to be very good. I expect Pollard to want to show that, look, the West Indies aren't a soft touch, notwithstanding what happened in the test arena. This isn't test cricket. I'm the boss here. My team is good. We're going to fight all the way. I expect the West Indies to win.
Yeah, you know what? They have the World T20 tournament set for later this year, October, November. So a part of this series is an opportunity for the coaching staff to start to see the players that they are earmarking for the T20 World Cup. And the West Indies, as defending champions, have a lot of pride to defend here. And as you mentioned correctly, the red ball team, different roster, but the name West Indies is something that the players have to rise up to represent purposefully, and this is an opportunity here for them to make the fans happy, because last week was pretty much of a no-show, wasn't it?
Yeah, cricket is so different, and I want to just quickly make this example. Unlike football, where you want to play a system, so you want to play 3-5-2, or you want to play 3-4-3 or 4-3-3. So you know you want a system and you put players in the position to play the system. There's something to think about, to say, well, look, this guy has more experience than me. He's played way more T20s at the franchise level and at the international level. He has good numbers, but I've done so well in this T20 5-match series. I think you should give me a look in and serious consideration, at least when you're sitting around the table to pick the World Cup squad later on this year, which is not so far from now.
No, it isn't.
Not too far from now.
That's the point we were making, and we have to make it clear too that in the T20 setup there are players in the West Indies that are world respected. You know, players like Pollard and so on, world respected and sought after for almost all of the global T20 leagues. A few of the players who may be having a look in aren't in the Caribbean at the moment. In fact, Robman Powell and Sherfane Rutherford played in the Pakistan Super League final today for the Peshawar Zalmi. They were beaten. I think Powell made about 23 and Sherfane Rutherford made 18. But Johnson Charles's Multan Sultans beat them handsomely by about 40 or 50 runs and won the tournament. But unlike the red ball game, where I guess I would have to say Jason Holder and Kemar Roach as red ball players are highly respected worldwide. The test team for the West Indies at the moment is littered with players struggling on their own to try to make, you know, a mark at the test cricket level. Conversely, in the T20 roster, there are several players in there who command respect, and which many teams fear as opposition.
Well, I'd put it another way to express this as the same point. There are T20 players for the West Indies who can get into other national teams' T20s. They love to have. There are many teams who would bite your hand off to get Kyron Pollard in their team.
Yes.
Andre Russell at his fittest would walk into any side in the T20, well, most sides in the T20 arena, and a couple of others, yeah, when they're unsung. You say Jason and Kemar in the red ball version. Jason would find some suitors, Kemar would find some suitors, but yes, your point is correct.
Yeah.
Your point is correct. There are more than a few white ball exponents who at their very best would walk into most teams in the world, and that's why I'm more excited about the T20 series and the T20, the ability and the capacity of the T20 team than I was about the test team. That's why I'm expecting, the pressure is on you from me now, West Indies. I expect you to beat South Africa in these 5 games.
I wasn't expecting the Test team to win, I must say.
Yeah, and the South Africans will be coming off the Test series success with confidence, because I think more of their red ball players will be involved in the white ball game. But they must understand and respect fully the fact that they're coming up against a new unit here. So the sort of demoralized West Indies opposition that they faced in the second Test match, they won't look for that here. Kieron Pollard doesn't stand for teams disrespecting or overlooking him as a team leader, and I know that there's a lot of fire coming from the T20 setup at the moment to respond to what the South Africans did to the Test team.
There's a question I often ask where the West Indies' Test team is concerned when we're batting, and I say, okay, which West Indies batsman elicits the greatest celebration from the opposition when they get them out? None. I can't think of, well, you tell me if I'm wrong. Which of our Test batsmen, when his wicket falls, you say, yes, you brought it to who? Nobody.
Nobody.
Not the reaction to BC Lara or Ivy Richards or, well, I couldn't, there's a laundry list.
Chris Gayle when he played white ball cricket, yeah?
Yeah. So I'm saying,
ball cricket.
Red ball cricket. But I'm saying, in this white ball team, there are more than a few when the opposition his franchise record versus his T20 international record. He is a man full of pride, tons of ability. Look, man, I expect him to drag this West Indies through, especially after the pasting we took in the Test series.
Yes.
He'll take it upon himself to want to show the South Africans that you aren't coming here for a nice vacation away from COVID. You're coming here to play serious cricket. The West Indies T20 side is going to give the tourists a serious test, at least, I hope.
Yes, and the Spice-Al will have support going the West Indies way, because there will be fans in the stands, George. Maybe not the numbers that would have been there 3 or 4 years ago pre-COVID-19, but the West Indies will appreciate the fact that there will be stands in the stands in Grenada supporting their efforts on the field.
Yeah, it's a credit to their system and the medical architecture in the country that they're able to take this brave step. I haven't heard much backlash towards the move, so it is that the population, the opposition, members of parliament and the opposition voices in the country are comfortable enough that the government is taking this step as a way of getting back to normal as soon as possible. So this is highly commendable that Grenada is leading in this way. They could have taken the conservative approach, which is no spectators. I don't think that would have been a controversial decision, but they're being brave. They're being on the front foot, the Grenadian government, and it's good to see the fans being allowed to share in the experience. It will be more interesting, and I hate using that word to describe anything interesting, but there you go, to see how many fans go to the individual games, and of course the aggregate number of fans at the end of the five games. But I know that more than a few people will be going out to watch the West Indies live.
Yeah, and as we said, we do expect a very valiant effort from this West Indies team led by the very aggressive and fiery captain Kieron Pollard. We go to break. Still more to come on the SportsMax Zone.